Hola, buenos dias, Professora Barth here. You are on lesson 0.2. It's called Introduction, Saying Your Name. In this lesson, you will learn to ask others their name and respond by telling them your name. You'll also learn 2 ways to say you, and you will learn to say nice to meet you. You'll learn this so that you can introduce yourself to others, learn other people's names, and you'll know you have it when you pass the mastery check with 90% or more and have a short conversation with a partner to demonstrate what you've learned. So in Spanish, there's tú and usted. There are tú and usted. If you look over here, it's familiar, which means it's more casual, and you use it when you're speaking to your friends, your family, people your own age, younger children, and pets, and there's no abbreviation. Usted is more formal, and you use that to show respect when you're talking to people you don't know well, older people, teachers, and people in public places. So this one does have an abbreviation, and I do use it, so you want to make sure you know what it means. U, capital U, a D, and a period. That means usted. So let's practice saying the following phrases, and there is one sound I need to point out. It's a double L in Spanish. That is pronounced like a Y sound, like ya. ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay, so we're going to be hearing that a lot, and then make sure you look at what it means over here after you're repeating things so you know what you're saying. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo, that means my name is, and you would put your own name here in this blank. So if my name is Maddie, which it is, I would say me llamo Maddie. Me llamo, me llamo. So practice that with your own name. Mucho gusto, mucho gusto, mucho gusto. Igualmente. And this one, you say that when someone says nice to meet you, you could say, if someone says mucho gusto, you could say igualmente. Then you don't have to repeat back mucho gusto, because then it'd be weird 2 people saying mucho gusto. So igualmente, igualmente. And there's another word for saying nice to meet you or delighted to meet you, and it's encantada. And this one has a different ending. And in Spanish, there's feminine endings and there's masculine endings. So here we have encantada, encantada, encantada. And you'd say that if you're a girl. If you're a guy, you would say encantado, encantado, encantado. Y tú, y tú, y tú. And you're going to use this phrase again when you're asking people their names. Y usted, y usted, y usted. We used that in our last lesson, and that's one we're going to keep using over and over. So let's put some of these words together. Here we've got meeting a classmate. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo te llamas? Hola, me llamo Ana. ¿Y tú? Me llamo Isabela, mucho gusto. Encantada. So here we have a little conversation. She's saying, hola, buenos días. Do you remember what that means? ¿Cómo te llamas? Hola, me llamo Ana. ¿Y tú? We're seeing all the phrases that we've learned in the last couple lessons. Bien. And she used encantada here at the end, and she used mucho gusto. Meeting a few people. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo te llamas? Hola, me llamo Lucía. Me llamo Elena. ¿Y tú? Me llamo Jorge. Mucho gusto. Igualmente. Encantada. Meeting a teacher. Buenos días, señor. Buenos días. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Pepe. Mucho gusto. Encantado. So these dialogues aren't always going to be identical to this, but this is just kind of a basic idea. Okay, meeting a school counselor. Buenas tardes, señora. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo Felipe. ¿Y usted? Me llamo señora Flores. Mucho gusto. Encantada. All right, let's review vocabulary and make sure you get this all written in your notes. Make sure you have the right translations, and we're going to practice saying them all together. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo. Mucho gusto. Igualmente. Encantado. Encantada. Do you remember which one of these is encantado? Who would say that? And who would say encantada? Y tú, y usted. Bien. Let's find the right word for each blank space in the dialogue. Here we got número uno. What would go in that space? Número dos. Which word goes in that space? Número tres. Which word goes in that space? And número cuatro. There's actually a couple possibilities there. Buenas tardes. And this is a title. So we're going back to the last lesson. Número dos. Número tres. Número cuatro. Número cinco. Número seis. In this lesson, you learned the difference between tú and usted, how to ask someone their name by saying ¿cómo te llamas? And how to respond with me llamo, and how to say mucho gusto, encantado, encantada, and igualmente. Adios, estudiantes. See you next time for more Spanish language learning. Before you move on, make sure you complete the guided notes. Then you can move on to the next activity in the module. And today, I would love it if you could practice asking someone else, ¿Cómo te llamas? So go find a partner and find someone to ask. Bueno, adiós, chao, hasta luego.